So, I have a bit of an announcement to make. It's a boy. Hello and welcome back to Granted Gardens. Today is the day that we are going to work on this greenhouse. So I'm going to walk you around to show you what it looks like right now and give you a brief explanation of what the game plan is. I'm hoping to get as far as possible today, but I just wanted to make sure that I showed you guys kind of the process while we do this. So if you follow our videos, you know our precious neighbors gifted us this greenhouse, and we have been anxiously awaiting setting it up, but we have been working on the coop, and that has kind of been the main priority. Yesterday, Friday evening, we worked on the coop and we finally got it completely enclosed and predator proof. So the chickens are outside all day today for their first time, and they're enjoying themselves, and so we now get to focus on the greenhouse. So I'll show you what we've got going on right now and what the game plan is moving forward. So this is the greenhouse. It is an 8x12. We don't know the manufacturer. Our neighbors are still working on trying to get that information for us. Oh great, and we've got a wasp nest that we will have to address. Hello, sir. So we're gonna try and get replacements for these parts here. And the idea is, if we go around back here, we've got this row of lilacs that I planted, oh my, probably about 4 years ago now. We're actually going to take out these two middle lilac bushes here and move them down on the end here. And then we're going to take the greenhouse and we're going to move it back behind here to the very edge of our property, which is probably about here. And so we're going to just bring the greenhouse back a few feet here and take out these lilacs so that we have a little bit more space up front here between the greenhouse and the fire pit. So it's the next morning. I literally just got up, but I wanted to come out here and let the chickens out because Friday evening Tyler and I finished zipping up the coop so it's entirely predator proof. Yesterday I got a shot of before the greenhouse. I didn't get any shots of during because it was hot and we were just cranking it out, but we finished the floor on the greenhouse yesterday, so I will go show you how that's doing or what that looks like. Good morning, ladies. Good morning. Hello. So here she is. We got the floor done. Now we just gotta work on some of these missing panels, get them in, and then come up with a solution for that panel because that one is missing altogether. And we have wasps in here that keep trying to build nests. I'll have to address that as well. Hopefully that won't be too much of an issue once we get the windows all put together. But look at how big it is. I'm so excited. So excited. I'm also currently in the works of trying to plan benches to put in here. To work on. I have my potting bench, which I might move in here for the time being until we really get stuff kind of set up in here. But these bars, ooh, sorry, almost touched that wasp. I'm not awake yet. These bars go down pretty low. So we need to figure out a bench situation that doesn't get in the way of those. So it's a work in progress, but we got the floor done. So it's a step in the right direction. Good morning. So I have a bit of an announcement to make. It's a boy. It's a boy. We officially have a rooster. Tyler and I were out here working on the coop on Friday, and this one right here just cock-a-doodle-dood. We hurried up and we turned. We looked at each other. We were like, oh. Okay, now I have to explain. We are first-time chicken owners, okay? So, as obvious as it may be to a lot of people that this is a rooster, we're new to this. And we kind of still had our fingers crossed that that wasn't the case, because this is one of what would have been one of our Easter eggers. So they would lay, they're Americanas, they would lay green and blue eggs. We got 2 of them. Well, now one's a rooster, so we won't be getting eggs out of this little guy. But we still have one that will lay the different colored eggs. The rest of them will all lay brown eggs. So one thing that I did some quick homework on and found out when we realized that we had a rooster was people say to hold them as often as you can and keep them friendly, get them used to people. So that's what I'm doing. I've been trying to spend some time with him every day, walking him through the garden and keeping him as friendly as possible. I put him back with the girls because it's hard enough videotaping and walking and making sure you're not stepping on things. I don't need a chicken in my hand while I'm doing it. So these are my lima beans, and I know they need sprayed, so I'm gonna address that. But like this one in particular has had this bean on it pretty much since we put it in here. And it doesn't look like it's doing good. It doesn't look like it's getting any bigger. The plant looks sick. I do have some new growth here. But to be honest with you, I'm thinking about pulling this and pulling that and replanting them. So that's gonna get done. I'm trying to stay hard and true to the concept that if it's sick and it's not doing well, or if it's dying, pull it, start over. So if I'm gonna stick with that, then I need to pull these lima beans. And that's me trying to convince myself, not necessarily convince you. I used to have this hanging in my room when I was little. And it's been hanging, well, it's been laying in a closet for years now. And so I just decided, you know what? It'll rust, but I'm okay with that. I'm gonna bring it out and put it in the garden. I think it's beautiful. So these beans are doing a lot better. These are the Kentucky pole beans, right here, the Kentucky pole beans. This one is the purple pole bean, which I only have 1 plant of, but again, it's doing awesome here. But the Kentucky pole beans are doing a lot better. I did pull some of them, and replant them, and they're happy now. I moved over some cucamelons. I got one here that volunteered in the other garden bed. This was the original cucamelon that we grew, started from inside. That is just taking off. So that will completely cover this whole section here once everything starts going. I've been trying to trim back the yarrow off the walkway just because it's been getting annoying, but at this point the potatoes take up so much space that you're either walking through potatoes or yarrow, so baby steps as you're walking through the garden. Came through and pruned some more of my tomato plants at the bottom here so that it's getting decent airflow. That's something that you kind of have to keep up on a pretty regular basis. Look at these flowers. This has so obviously been one of my favorite plants in the garden to show you guys up until now. This is the scarlet runner bean, and it's just a gorgeous plant altogether. It's just beautiful. And then over here we've got some of my favorite peas. They're actually the dollar store peas. I grew them last year and was in love with them. We've got peas coming. I'm super excited to start picking those. I love those things. I direct sowed a bunch after pulling out the dead, and they're coming up. They're doing perfect. So these guys will be covering this arch here in no time. Can you see these? These are called bachelor buttons. They're a new flower that I was not familiar with. I knew very little about, and decided to grow this year, and I think they're really pretty. I like them. I could go back and show you the same tomatoes that I show you all the time, but they aren't looking too different. We've got Mr. Spider here doing his job to patrol the garden from bad bugs. These are the Cherokee Trail of Tears, which I did pull some of them and direct sow, and they are doing just fine. They popped right up. I mean, they've grown quite a bit from seed. And then some of these here, like these taller ones, were started inside. Let's get a close-up of their flower. Really pretty purple flower. Nope, that's not going to do it for me. So they have officially reached the top of the arch. We will see once they start filling out and producing. I've never eaten them before, but I think they're a dry bean. But they'll be fun to grow. Tyler's tomatoes. He's got tomatoes popping up in here too, like actual fruit that's started. Got some tomatoes in there. Focus is not doing so hot today. There we go. And here there is something that I've been waiting to pick until I was doing my video. Let's see if we can get back here. Tight spaces. Our kale is just getting ran through by something. Look at that. We got a cucumber. Isn't he pretty? Yum. I'm excited. I had some stellar zucchinis that I was like, no, I'm gonna wait till I do a video and I'm gonna pick them on video. I'm gonna wait. And then finally it just got to the point where they were just ready to get picked and I wasn't ready to do a video. So I picked them. But if you follow along on Granted Garden's Facebook page, you can find it by going to Facebook, typing in Visit Granted Gardens, and it should be the first page that'll pop up. You can see all of my updates on stuff about the garden that I post in between videos. So if you're not following, please make sure you're following that page on Facebook. Check out this cabbage, y'all. Look at that. It's as big as my hand. Still a little squishy. Might have a ways to go. But look at the size of that thing. Woo! I'm excited. Love cabbage. Then there was one more surprise thing I wanted to show you guys, which I think I talked to you about it a little bit in another video. I had planted some of my Gerber daisies that I grew in pots last year, hoping that they'd come back even though they weren't supposed to. And one came back a little earlier in the video season and I showed it to you, and then another one just came back recently. So I want to show you how beautiful these flowers are. Look at that. I don't even think that the video can do the color justice. It is such an amazing pink. Very different. I just noticed this. My zinnias and my marigolds. Oh my gosh. Look at how they just filled up this pot. And they filled the pot up so much it's actually leaning a bit. I'd have to address that. They're so beautiful. I got a lot of Japanese beetles on them though. These guys, oops, right here. They are not a gardener's friend at all. But yeah. That turned out really beautiful. So these are our tomato pots on the front porch, which we have not done much as far as pruning these goes at all. I'll be honest with you, they get a little bit neglected being out on the front porch. We just don't spend that much time out here. But we're getting tomatoes. But you can tell the difference as to how full they are at the bottom versus what we have growing in the garden. Probably would benefit from being pruned. My sunflower out here in the cottage garden is starting to get ahead on it. So we'll see a sunflower there soon. It won't last long though, because this garden bed belongs to the birds and the squirrels, and I let them eat it. I don't try to stop them from this garden. I do try and stop them from the big garden in the backyard, but I do give them this one. Bit of lavender. Time to pick that. Got a plant growing pretty steadily between our wind chimes, so that's why we're not hearing him too much. I was gonna try and get the baby birds to chirp for us, but maybe they're still sleeping, and Daddy Bird is flying around out here. He doesn't like it when I get close. But I do like to check in on them and see how they're doing. It's so precious because every time that I pull in the front driveway and get out the car, they're all chirping at me, saying hi, welcome home. It's so cute and I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this morning and parts of yesterday. I am gonna go work on the herb bed because it is overgrown and needs attention. So thank you guys so much again. I look forward to sharing more with you soon. They're saying bye.